If you've got the bounce curl brush and you'd like to see a couple of different methods on how to use it, I'm going to share two completely different techniques in this video. The first is my tried and tested method. It creates beautiful, bouncy, defined waves and curls. And the second method, well, that's something I only just discovered thanks to this video. So that video from Wavy Curly Shan popped up on my Instagram feed, thank you algorithm, and of course as soon as I saw it I immediately wanted to try out the technique. So to do this I'm going to split my hair down the centre, and on one side I'm going to show you the tried and tested method which will create beautiful defined bouncy waves for you, and then on the other side I don't know what it's going to produce, but we will find out. First up, I will talk you through my wash routine and the products I'm going to use. However, if you're someone who already has your Holy Grail products and aren't really interested in what I'm using, then just skip to the next chapter where we'll get straight into the two different methods. For those of you that do love to chat products, the first shampoo that I used today was this one from V&Co. I absolutely love this. It is designed for wavy hair. It's full of peptides, it's so hydrating and moisturizing. My hair doesn't get tangled. I really love it. I bought this when I was in America. I did contact the company to find out if you can get hold of it in the UK or the EU, and to summarize,
no. The answer is no.
The next shampoo I went in with, I always double cleanse, was another one that I bought in the States, and this is the L'Oreal Everpure sulfate free bond repair. Both shampoos, by the way, were sulfate free. And I then followed this up. Again, it's really hydrating, really moisturizing. That's kind of what my hair needs at the moment. And then I followed up with the bond repair conditioner. Now, just to give you a little bit of tip about this, if you've got wavy hair or hair that's prone to tangles, I really love this, but I don't detangle my hair in the shower with this. So normally I always use my wet brush to detangle in the shower, but this does not give my hair enough slip to be able to detangle. So how I use this is I apply it all over, but I do focus more on mid-lengths and ends, and I sort of glaze it over my hair. And then I will sort of lightly scrunch and pulse. I'm not kind of adding water or anything at this stage. And then I'll sort of wash my body and my face and just let it sit on my hair for a little bit. I do not take a brush through it because it doesn't give that seaweedy texture. However, when you then rinse it out, your hair just becomes silk-like. It's kind of incredible, to be honest. And then I would, if I needed to, just very lightly brush through the ends of my hair if there were still any tangles. But today, because I knew there wasn't going to be much protein in my routine, I very quickly used a Jaya hair mask, which is a protein-based treatment. I just popped that on really towards kind of mid-lengths, but mainly the ends of my hair, just because I wanted a little bit of protein, and I then detangled. I didn't leave it on as if it was a mask. I literally kind of popped it on, detangled, and then rinsed it straight out. So that was my wash routine. Today I'm going to finish up my Ceremonia UV Guava Rescue Spray. There is the tiniest bit at the bottom, so I'm going to start with this product. Let's get the leave-in conditioner through my hair to start with. So I'm just going to spray quite liberally. I've kind of roughly parted my hair into two sections already. Oh, because it's right at the very bottom, I kind of can't tip it at too much of an angle or it won't come out. I think I'm going to have to pour this into my hands. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to, obviously normally you would spray it, but just so I use up every last bit. And now I'm just going to brush that through. Now my hair is still very wet, but when I brush style I do like it to be really wet. So the other thing that I haven't actually got to hand, and I'm just going to go and grab, is a continuous spray bottle, and that will just have water in it. There's nothing else, just water. Okay, the next styling product that I'm going to use before we make our curl clumps is from Way. It's one of my favourite curl creams. The reason I've chosen this is, one, I've used it a lot and it's kind of one that I feel really confident about achieving good results, but also it provides a little bit of hold. So I just really like the fact that then if I don't want to, and I haven't really decided yet, I don't necessarily need to add in a styling hold product later on, like a gel or a mousse. I'm someone who just generally does not like the feeling of product in their hair, and I'm willing to sacrifice kind of how long my hair might last versus feeling the product. So yeah, do you know what? I probably could get my waves and curls still looking more defined by day 3 or day 4 if I used more whole product, but I don't like the texture that would then create in my hair. And to be honest, I'm also somebody that really needs to wash their hair every 3 to 4 days, otherwise my roots start to ache and my scalp can get itchy, and I personally don't think any of those are a good thing. So today was actually day 6, I think, and my hair felt horrible, so it feels so nice just to have washed it. Okay, so I'm just distributing that curl cream all the way through, just with my wet brush, just making sure I've got really good coverage everywhere. And actually, while we're talking about how frequently you wash and so on, I had somebody ask me, how much hair do you lose in the shower? If you are grossed out quite easily, again, you might want to like just skip forward 15 seconds or something, because I'm now going to show you some footage to kind of answer the question. The first shot, this was 3 days between washes. So this is how much hair I lost when I had a 3 wash day routine. And then this second bit of footage is actually from today, and it's either day 5 or day 6. So you can see I've lost a little bit more today, but that's because I've gone those couple of extra days between. Hopefully that answers the question about how much hair generally I lose and you haven't been too grossed out by it. I think we'll start with the tried and tested method. So I'm going to just section this side up and out the way. And now with this side, because I do want it to be really nice and soaking, I am going to add just some more water before we begin brush styling. Okay, so again, I'm actually now going to use the bounce brush to brush that through, just so you can hear. So that's the kind of squelch that you want to hear. That's how saturated you want your hair to be. One last thing before we begin, I have fine hair, medium density. So what that means is if you were to pick up a single strand between your fingers, you could only just really feel my strand of hair between your fingers. However, I have a decent coverage over my head of hair. So fine, but medium density, and it's a very loose wave pattern. So I just wanted to share that because I think that's sometimes helpful information to know. Okay, I'm just kind of going to have a top. I really hate sectioning. I am really useless at it. I can't give you any tips, I'm afraid. It was funny, the last time I did a routine about I think it might have actually been for the bounce curl, I said how awful I was at sectioning, and I felt very validated because loads of people came back to me and were like, oh my god, I can't section either. So I felt less cat-handed, or at least not alone in my cat-handedness. Okay, so this is the tried and tested method. Take a decent section size and then just place the brush up and under. So there we go, so the hair is sitting on top. And then I just like to create a little bit of tension with my hand to begin with, and then slowly pull down, and straight away you can see how the edge here creates definition along the hair, and then kind of pull it out, just give it a shake. You can either then scrunch and pulse straight away, or sometimes I just kind of give a loose lift, or you can just leave it and move on to the very next section and then just scrunch and pulse all together, which, to be honest, is what I do generally a little bit more now. Okay, so then again with the next piece, up and underneath, little bit of tension, pull through, down, and then just shake. And then I'd actually then sort of take both of those sections together and just gently lift to begin with. It's just a lifting motion for me at this stage. I'm not scrunching and pulsing. I found recently that the more gentle I am, the less frizz I have, and my hair is prone to frizz. So that's something I'm sort of trying out a little bit at the moment, but you absolutely could scrunch and pulse, which will give you even more definition. Okay, so last section on this underneath piece. In fact, because it's at the back, it's a bit trickier to show you. Let me see if I can do it from this angle. Again, just give it a shake, lift, and then I just scrunch it all together. The brush has this really nice handle that actually does help with sectioning. I always leave the front part to the end. Sorry, the weirdest sectioning ever. I'm just going to clip this out of the way. So now I need to sort of pick up some of the back. Let me try it like this. So I'm just actually going to brush this piece through. If you've got any tangles, that's worth mentioning actually, because I've detangled and I've used my wet brush, this is just gliding through. But if you do have any tangles, you want to try and brush those out before you brush style. And you could do that with the wet brush or with this one. And then just pop your hands underneath and you sort of then catch the curl clump, give it a shake and lift. So you can see, I mean, that took me no time at all. Yes, it took me a little bit longer the first ever time I used this brush, but honestly, it's so user-friendly, so easy. It just glides through your hair. They say it does really help with frizz. Okay, now we've got that last little front section. Just smoothing it down. And also by scrunching everything together, it stops it looking piecey and separated. I'm just going to very gently do a little bit of micro plopping. This adds even more definition to your waves and curls. And obviously anything that I do on this side, I'm going to make sure I do with the other technique. Okay, so onto the experimental method. I'm going to just add some water. Let's brush that through and then just section into two again, so I've got kind of an upper and a lower section. Let's get this out of the way. If you have much thicker hair than mine, you're probably going to need more sections obviously than just an upper and a lower. And I feel bad for you because that means more sectioning. Unless you're really, really good at sectioning, and then I don't feel bad for you, but I would love to know your tips in the comments, please. Okay, so with this technique, I'm just going to try and flick that back. It's the complete opposite. I'm just going to brush this through a little bit. So we saw it on her video. I have never done this before, so bear with me. She went down, and then as she moved down, she flipped the brush back on itself like that. So you still get that separation, but it's going to be very smooth, I guess, up here. And then she sort of just shook her hair a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing, just lightly lift. But I won't scrunch yet. Okay. So again, I'm just going to brush it through. Oh no! Okay, that bit's now coming with this bit. Don't worry, that happens all the time. Try and flick that out of the way. Okay, so down and then just flick it back on itself. Shake, lift. So again, down, flip it back on itself. I don't think I did the greatest job with that one. It's so much harder at the back of your head, isn't it? Should I do that again? Because look, you can see how pretty and very different this method is making these curl clumps look. I'm going to do that one again. I feel like I did a terrible job. And that's the nice thing, it's very forgiving, this brush. Like if you need to redo it, just redo it. I think that's better when you sort of catch it in your thumb and then you can just give it a little shake. And now I'm going to gently lift them all up together and then give them a scrunch and pulse. I always forget to use the brush to section, which is a shame because it does make life easier. Oh, everything is so slippery, it's just flinging out of my hands now. Right, let's start from the back. So with the back piece, okay, I'm going to crouch down for this piece. So brush it through, then on this side, obviously, not underneath, start to brush and then twist the brush back on itself. Just going to make sure I catch this so I can give it a shake. And then I'm just gently going to lift. But you could definitely scrunch and pulse at that point if you wanted to. Smooth it down, flip it over, and now just lift that front section a little bit and then just gently scrunch and pulse everything together. Now, as I look in the mirror, I'm not seeing huge differences. I would say I have a little bit more texture and potential volume going on here. I think they both look quite defined. This probably looks slightly looser than this side. But it'll be interesting to see once I've dried them. So I won't include that because it's always so boring, but to make sure that I don't disturb any of the curl clumps, all I'm going to do today is hover diffuse. In terms of whole product, I'm not going to add a gel or a mousse or anything today. I think I just want to see how it looks once it's fully diffused and dry, and we'll scrunch out the crunch and then have a little look to see how different these two methods have turned out. Right, I'll see you once this hair is dry. And there you go, my results. So this side I definitely think has a little bit more bounce, a little bit more volume, and this is a little bit flatter, but not massively different. But if you have problems with frizz and really want to smooth this top area down, I feel like this could be really good if you don't mind sacrificing that little bit of extra volume. For me, I still like the tried and tested method, and this side a little bit more. I feel like when I'm going to use this brush, I want that volume, I want that texture. So for me, this is the winner. And by the way, if you would like a little bit more of an insight into the tried and tested method, how to do it, my first impressions, techniques and tips and so on, you might want to check out this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next video.